And welcome. My name's Lorna and I'm from Witham United Reformed Church with our midweek Keeping Connected video. In the early hours of the morning a couple of days ago, for some reason the words came to me, "Perhaps you have been born for such a time as this." The actual quote from the book of Esther is, "Who knows if perhaps you were made queen for such a time as this?" Esther has been challenged by her uncle Mordecai to go and speak to the king on behalf of the Jewish people who were about to be systematically killed. Ordinarily, she could not speak to the king unless she was summoned into his presence, because if she approached him otherwise, he might respond kindly, of course, or he might depose her for her lack of respect, or even have her put to death. It was a risk, but her uncle was reminding her that becoming queen was part of a bigger picture, a bigger plan for their people. Nothing happens by accident in this world. God is totally in control. God knows the end from the beginning and is outside of time as we know it. So nothing that is happening in our world now is a surprise to him. In the grand scheme of things, this pandemic is only a very small part of his plan. And you and I are an even smaller, much more minuscule part of his really big plan. So it's no accident that you are where you are and you are who you are. You are here for a reason at this particular time. Now, what we can do might not be anywhere near as spectacular as what Esther has achieved. But in our own small way, we too are entrusted with bringing God's kingdom in. Now. Not after the pandemic, but now. What that looks like for each of us will be very different. But what came to me was, whatever contact I have with other people, I can use it positively or negatively. I can give them emotional and spiritual energy, or I can drain them of their spiritual and emotional energy. Intentionally or unintentionally, that is what happens. So I need to choose wisely, and it is a choice. That's my voice, my words, my demeanour, everything. Choose wisely. Consciously or subconsciously, I might tend to gravitate towards those who fill us up rather than those who drain us. Either way, we need to strike a balance, as otherwise we are in danger of ending up completely empty ourselves. And if that's the case, we can't possibly top other people up. Of course, in all of this, whether you are more of the sort of person who imparts energy to another person or whether you're more a person who drains energy from others, our regular, intentional, spiritual and therefore emotional top-up must come from God, regularly, through His Word, His living Word. I told Graham that I'd been inspired by these words from the book of Esther, and his reply was, and it all ended rather messily, didn't it? Well, he's right, it did. The evil that had been unleashed played out, but in the end, good overcame evil, and God's people had the victory. The world now is a rather messy place. There is a lot of evil that has been unleashed, and it is playing out. But we do know that in the end, the victory is God's, and that His kingdom will come in its entirety here on earth. In the meantime, may I, and you, may we choose wisely and be a blessing to others, bringing hope and joy into their lives. I'd just like to tell you about a few things that are happening soon and very soon. I'll start with the soon. This is advance notice of our annual toy service, which will of course be rather different this year. 22nd of November. We're supporting the Angel Tree Project again, which gives presents to the children of prisoners. This year, the Angel Tree Project can only take financial gifts, no toys. That's for obvious reasons. And more details will follow on how you might make a donation on Sunday and next Wednesday as well, and in all electronic communications. More immediately, as a fellowship, we are going to take part in a day of prayer for our nation on Friday. I know that's extremely short notice, but it's rather important, and it would be great if as many people as possible could take part. There are suggested topics for each hour, which will be disseminated with the written sermon and also electronically. Another suggestion is that you might, with someone in your household or with one other person from another household, go for a prayer walk in your area, stopping and praying at various places. The church will be open from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. for private prayer. And the idea is there will be a short PowerPoint presentation on the screen with ideas to help us focus on what to pray for. So please do come and join us at some point, maybe just 5 or 10 minutes during the day. I'm aware that this will go out on Remembrance Day. Sacrificial love and putting others before ourselves is the greatest thing that any of us can do. For most of us, this will not entail giving our lives physically, but it does mean letting go of our life and surrendering it to God, dying to sin and self, and living for Christ. As Paul wrote in Philippians, "My life's goal is to know Jesus better and to experience his resurrection power, to share something of what he suffered for me, to nail my selfishness to the cross and become more like him. This is the way to life beyond death." Bless you. See you next week. Goodbye.